Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, begins with a Weather Watch alert.
First at 6, we've got a snow day. Hundreds of schools have canceled classes across Connecticut as the flakes are flying.
Plus, the roads are getting messy for anyone who needs to drive into work or anywhere else. This is I-95 in New London. Connecticut's news station has live team coverage for you. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Erica Arias alongside Matt Scott and meteorologist
Matt Scott. That's okay.
Sorry. Tim, Matt, you guys
I am not a meteorologist.
Correct.
Yeah, but you were just about, for a non-meteorologist, you were one of the smartest non-meteorologists I know. Can we get Erica some coffee? Another hit. Good morning. Duration.
Good morning.
We're in for the long duration here, so we're gonna goof every now and then. If you, Tim and I rolled into work right about the same time.
Yes.
And it was kind of like just nothing going on, and then it's almost like the spigot opened up and everything just started to come in.
Yeah,
right?
I was coming in from the north part of the state where there were no flakes until I hit Windsor on I-91 at about 4:20 a.m. and it picked up quickly from there. By the time I got to Hartford,
let's take a live look.
Here
Here we've got lots of looks outside.
Yeah, as we take a look, live look outside, I-84, I-91, I-95. The governor, remember, ordering a ban on all tandem and empty tractor trailers on highways across the state. That's a great precaution because, as we said, the snow is ramping up quickly. And whereas we may have lowered the numbers a little bit, and I'll explain why in a second, it still doesn't mean that we're not seeing a decent amount of snow that we'd really like to get out of the way, cleaned up sooner rather than later. So, what can we tell you that has changed since you went to bed and are waking up now? Well, yesterday we were talking about this big change in the track. About 50 miles about it, and it just offshore, moving south, and that increased the snow, except the track continues to move southward, and it's pulling a lot of the bulk of the energy with it. So we're still looking at between about 7 a.m. and about 1, 2 o'clock for what may be, for some of you, an inch of snow, wet, pasty wet snow per hour. So there's still going to be a lot to clean up. But by the time we get this out of the way in time for the evening commute, assuming you are participating in the evening commute, hopefully with the ban and lesser folks on the road, things will look better. About 4 or 5 a.m., the National Weather Service changed the winter storm warning for Litchfield and Hartford County to a winter weather advisory. Does that mean you're getting no snow? No. It just means that right now we're focusing on higher amounts down towards the south. Visibility has been an issue as well. Half a mile in Hartford, the Naugatuck Valley, 3/4 of a mile in Meriden, just kind of adding salt to the wound if you are forced to be out and about on the roads. All right, here's the radar picture, and still deep blues, the deeper the blue, indicative of some higher rates of snow. You can see right between Windham, Columbia, all the way down into Cromwell. I think that's going to be the focal point. I think just to the south and east a little bit of I-84 may be set up for those heavier bands that'll see some increased numbers. That said, you can also see with the rain snow line, it is still far down to the south, so we're not looking for anything to cut into the numbers on the shoreline. As a matter of fact, I think the shoreline will end up with some of the higher numbers when all is said and done. And you could see why. You can see that there's that diagonal, and as we go through the morning hours, it just kind of hugs I-84 south. Meanwhile, look at 44 from Salisbury to Canaan and Norfolk. You guys have just had a really wacky winter so far, and I think there's just a big bust for you coming over the next few hours. In terms of the timing, we're still sticking with about 1, 2, 3 o'clock for this to wind down and get out of here, so that's certainly some good news. Here are your numbers. Again, we've cut them down significantly north and west of I-84, still looking at enough for a snow day across the state. So again, we don't advise being on the road. Symphony's going to get us up to date with that in a moment, but meanwhile, it's not pretty now. Later on, again, if we can get a couple hours of cleaning up before the 5 o'clock whistle, things are not great, but they're far better than what we anticipated yesterday. We'll talk about that. Sam's with me. We're going to get a lot of comprehensive coverage on this, and of course, all our crews in the field. That is all morning long. But let's talk traffic right now and see what is going on, because as we said, Symphony, that snow just kind of got turned on quickly.
Yeah.
So don't let it fool you.
Yeah, right, Matt. Thank you. Right now we are accident free, but we are going to give you a live look at what we are checking out across the road. First up, a couple of warnings from CTDOT this morning. Do not crowd the plows out there. Make sure you're staying behind them at least 300 feet. Taking a look at some parts of our statewide map here, you see a lot of yellow and orange. I mean, things are moving very slowly on the interstate this morning. Also, we told you about that truck ban on limited access highways across the state. Now let's get to some of that snow on the roads. Checking out 91 here in Hartford near the Jennings Road area. You can see it is still coming down, still accumulating. Folks are up and at it. Make sure you are driving safely, leaving enough space between your vehicle and the one in front of you. Different scene out in New Haven. You can see the roads are slick out there, but you still want to take precautions if you're heading out the door in that area. Quick check of the drive times. Delays reported on 84 East heading into the Hartford Tunnel and on Route 2 in the Hartford area. So again, just make sure you are being safe if you do have to head out on the roads. Your next update coming up at 6:30.
All right, Symphony, thanks so much. And our team coverage continues for you this morning with Fox 61's Lindsay Kane.
Yeah, she's in the Fox 61 storm tracker in the New London area where we're expecting, I guess, the heaviest snow. So how do things look down there right now, Lindsay?
Hi, good morning. Yeah, it's not really looking like that at all. We're going to show you the roads here. We're on 95 South this morning. We're in the East Lyme area right now. We were just in the New London area about 10 minutes ago or so at the end of our 5 o'clock show, and roads were really just wet over there. It ended up stopping all of the flurries that we were seeing. No rain at that point when we were leaving New London as well, which was a little bit interesting. But now you can see where we are in East Lyme, some flurries, but really not too bad. There's not much accumulation out here in the East Lyme area on 95 South. We are seeing more and more cars on the road as everyone starts waking up this out the door. But this is a completely different scene than what we saw at maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning when we were in the Hartford, Glastonbury, Colchester area. So it's definitely not as severe here as it was there earlier this morning. But we're continuing to check out different areas across the state just to see exactly what's going on. So just a reminder, if you are heading out the door this morning, take it slow. The roads are still slick despite maybe not being as heavily snow covered here as in other parts of the state. So definitely put your distractions away. Have a safe following distance between other cars and make sure that you're being safe out on the roadways. So we'll continue to keep you updated, of course, on air, online, and on Fox 61 Plus as we continue getting looks from different parts of our state. But for now, we'll send things back over to you.
The Fox 61 Storm Tracker is sponsored by Nero Facilities Management.
Good to see blacktop there on I-95. Now let's get another ground view of the storm with Fox 61's Brooke Griffin.
Yeah, Brooke is live in Meriden this morning. Brooke, how's it looking? You're getting those big chunks of snow there right now?
Yeah, we've seen these big chunks, the bigger, heavier, wet flakes for over an hour now. That's really what it's been the entire time since it started snowing around 4 o'clock. Now, we are still in Meriden. This is right near the Dunkin' on Main Street. So this is Main Street here in Meriden. Things look okay. It's not great, to be honest with you. We've seen some plows come through. They are trying to hit some of these main streets at this point. But like I said earlier, they're facing an uphill battle. Once you plow, it's accumulating so fast that you're then having to come right back over it because it's just piling back up. So that has been kind of an issue there as far as the getting the roads treated. They are putting salt out. We have seen both city and state crews out and about this morning on the highways, out here on some of these side roads, you know, through cities and towns as well. So they are trying. I'll give them that. They are attempting to get this nice and safe for drivers, but there's just not a lot you can do as it's coming down so quickly and heavily. The best bet is really to just stay home, stay off these roads, just to make sure that you don't end up in a rough situation. If you do have to get out, though, definitely give yourself a lot of extra time. We've gotten stuck behind a few plows. We've also had to take it slow. In the past 2 hours, we've only made it from Hartford to Meriden. Now, granted, we are getting out of the car every few minutes for live shots, but that just shows you just how slow we are having to take it out on these roads, and I would advise that you do the same. Live in Meriden, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Brooke, thanks so much. We'll check back with you later this hour. And as we've said, the storm is impacting people all across the state this morning. Today, all the state's courts and administrative offices are closed. All cases set for today will be rescheduled.
Yeah, the governor said all of the state's executive branch office buildings will be closed to the public as well. And he recommended all non-essential state workers just work remotely if they can.
Now, the snow also affecting commuter rail service. Metro North and Amtrak announced modified schedules. While CT Rail hasn't announced any changes as of yet, officials ask passengers to check regularly for any changes to train times. And they're also asking people to be careful around the platforms and stairs at the train stations because they might be slippery.
At Bradley International Airport right now, there's about a dozen departing flights that have been canceled, 13 by FlightAware's count, and then about 11 incoming ones as well. By no means are all of them canceled or delayed. So this is one of those mornings where it's a great idea just to check with your particular airline before you head up to Windsor Locks. Now, that being said, all of Avelo's flights from Tweed New Haven Airport, they have been canceled for today, all of them. The airline said those flights will take off tomorrow instead. Well, as we've seen with this winter storm, the forecasts can change even over a 12-hour span. So it's a great reason to stick with Connecticut's news station on air, online, and through the free Fox 61 News app to get that hour-by-hour radar closing reports and, of course, those snow totals.